And all of the week, right, we talked about capital costs, we talked about operation costs, we talked about life cycle costs, we talked about levelized cost of energy. So one more concept I want to cover for this week before I let you go on for the weekend. And this concept is nothing but the net present value. Do you have an idea what it means? You need to find out about that. Absolutely, right? So we all know the green economy, green energy, it's getting growing. It's growing on a daily basis. Yeah, it's becoming an increasing part of our global energy mix. And it's important to understand the financial aspect of all these projects, because otherwise, how are we going to make sure that we develop them? That is what we all about here in this platform, right? So the key concept I want to talk to you about is the net present value, as I mentioned already. What does it mean? Any idea? Just take a guess. I give you a couple of seconds. Now you don't know. No problem. That's why you're here. That's why you're listening to me. So the net present value, it's a measure of the profitability of a renewable energy project. What it does is it calculates the difference between the present value of the cash inflow and the present value of the cash outflow over the life of the project. Yeah. And what it would do, it would take into account the time value for money. I'm sure you know about time value for money, right? Otherwise, this is also another terminology we're gonna have to look at in some future video, because $1 that you have right now is not the same that $1 I'm gonna have tomorrow because of inflation. As time goes by, it tends to worth a little less, right? The $1 today, can maybe afford me to buy, I don't know. Let's say, for example, a pen. I may not be able to afford that same pen in 5, 10 years time. Yeah, that is simply what we're doing here. Yeah, so the net present value is usually expressed, yeah, as a measure of in dollar term, right? And for you to calculate that, you need to determine the initial investment required for a project, such as the cost of materials, the labor for construction, and so on and so forth. And on that, you need to consider the ongoing cost of operating the project and also maintain the equipment, as well as the income it generates from selling the electricity produced by the project. So by discounting the cash inflow and outflows to the present value, we can calculate the net present value of the project. Yeah. So that's what we do. So how do you do discounting? Again, that's not a video you may want to be doing. But clearly, you want to be looking at the inflow minus the outflow. If the NPV is positive, which is actually the summation of those two, it means that your project is expected to generate a profit if it's positive. But if actually the net present the present value of the cash inflow, it's less than the present value of the cash outflow, your NPV negative, it means that your project is generating a loss over time. Yeah. And by you understanding the net present value, you can make a more informed decision. You can work out whether investing in a project would give you the return that you're expecting, will give you the profit that you're expecting or not. And if it's not the case, you then may want to be putting your money into another project. That's what it's all about. So it's important to note that the net present value can vary widely with the location, financing, and other factors. Yeah. And if we take the example we had before, which is the 1 megawatt solar plan, we know that depending on the cost of the plan, the cost of financing, cost of electricity generated by the plan, and other costs, so it will vary. But the NPV of a solar plan will be positive if the revenue generated by the plan over its lifetime exceed the cost of the plan. Obviously, that would include in that cost of the plan the financing and the operation costs. So to give you an estimate though, you can usually have about, for 1 megawatt solar plant, something around 1.5 and $2 million. That's just really a rough estimate. Yeah. So if you like that NPV. So that's what concludes our definition for this week. So one day, one concept idea. Hopefully now you're pretty much well versed into that. You'll be able to properly define it. If you like this video, 3 things you want to do, you know that by now. You want to like, you want to comment, and you want to share. As of me, I see you for this concept, this idea. I see you next Monday, and have a great weekend. Take care. Bye-bye.